Hi everybody, you're back with Jim with What Dugan Thinks. So we're going to change gears completely this time and we're going to cook. It's one of my passions as well as among the other things that I do. So today we're going to make Brunswick stew. And we're going to start with our potatoes. And what I am going to do with these is just chop them up into somewhat equal sized cubes, and then I am going to pre-boil them. The reason I do this is because every time I do it, the potatoes never seem to get done. So over the years I've decided that it's better to go ahead and get the potatoes into a pot of boiling water and have them boiling away so they get completely done. Typically you can make this in a crock pot, but I run into all kind of problems with that. Depending upon your crock pot and how long you leave it in there will determine how well everything gets done. This also has lima beans in it. That presents another problem. The lima beans never get done either. I mean ever. I just go ahead and boil those as well and get them completely done. That way when you start putting the stew together, you don't have all these issues and problems with things not being completely done. So what I'm going to do is cut these potatoes up, and then I am going to rinse them and put them in a pot, which I'm throwing them into now, but get them rinsed, put them into a pot, and pretty much get them done to the point where once you get the soup together, you can let it cook for an hour or so and go ahead and eat. I leave the peels on the potatoes. That's entirely up to however you'd like to do it. Today I'm being lazy and I am not peeling the potatoes, but honestly it helps the potatoes stay together a little bit better, and I really don't have any problem with it with or without, so it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is continue to cut these up, and then I will come back with the next phase. I don't do any measuring, guys, so bear in mind that I'm kind of winging it, and you're going to just need to kind of pay attention. Any good cook, you know, that has a recipe generally doesn't have to measure their stuff out. They wing it. I will try to give you approximations on, you know, what to do, but you can see how many potatoes I got out and what size they are. You can put in less, you can put in more. You'll be able to substitute some of the ingredients too, and put different things into it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, and then I'll be back with the next phase. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and get my onion cut up, kind of going in and out of different things, and then through editing I'll try to put it in some type of order. My onion cutting skills are okay, although some people do it other ways, and that's fine. I really don't care. What you want is a pretty small dice on these, and then once I start the cooking side, I'll move the camera around and get a different angle and set up the light and so forth, and actually let you see the cooking and what's involved and what stages I go through. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this onion on camera, let everybody kind of see it. What I normally do, and like I said, I'd rather have Valdez, but all I have is these today, and they are sweet onions. So I just come across and just put a bunch of lines into it, not cutting all the way to the back, leaving it kind of together. So a lot of people come back this way. I don't see any reason to. Once you go down, you're going to get a nice little chop anyway. I don't think you're going to get much finer than what it is. So I don't mess with that. I like them small so they can go ahead and cook. And when you get down to the end, be careful. And I just come across and just cut these up. Onion helps the flavor in this immensely. If you wanted to, you can throw some bell pepper in here, but I'd be real careful about the amount I throw in. And this is probably too much onion for this as it is. So what I'll probably wind up doing is cutting this up and saving it for later in a baggie for other things later in the week. You can always use onions for something, but for today I'm just going to go ahead and cut it up so I've got it sitting around. It only takes a minute or two. You could throw this in the food processor and get it done. I even have a small hand crank one that I use from time to time, but literally I can cut it like this quicker and easier and really don't have much cleanup after I'm done. So let me rearrange some things and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again and we are going to get some of this stuff going in the pot. This is a big cast iron ceramic covered pot. It's pretty big, probably the biggest pot I've got. I've just thrown some olive oil in there. I know everybody says to saute the onions until they're translucent or whatever. I've never been a big fan of that. A, I can't figure it out, and B, I think if you get them a little brown, it helps. It gets a little flavor on them, helps them out a little bit, makes everything taste a little better. I think anywhere you can pick up a little bit of flavor is very helpful. So I'm going to bring these up to the point where they are going to brown a little bit. And the reason I get these going in here first is to get them soft as well. They're another one of the items that takes some time to break down, and like I said, if we're going to speed this process up, you want to take all the things that are a challenge and get them taken care of, and then when you get the soup put together, or the stew, whichever you prefer, it's not as big an issue. I'm going to show you a couple things. Is baby lima beans, which is my preferred choice for what I put in here. I will cook these completely in a pot of water. What's amazing to me is I can boil these off and get them done in, I don't know, 40, 50 minutes, something like that. I have no idea. Corn you do not have to do that with. You can just throw that in. So the potatoes I'm going to get boiling, and I'm going to get the lima beans going, and what I'll do is turn this down to a low setting, and I will go ahead and put the lid on it and let these just kind of get to where they need to be. And then I'll be back and we'll start assembling some stuff. Okay, I'm back with some more work here. This is probably the most important element in the dish, is chicken. Now the big deal with the chicken is, if you do not have smoked chicken or the ability to smoke chicken, it's not a huge problem, but it adds so much flavor to the dish. I prefer dark meat. I do quarters and then I cut them up. Number two would be to grill it. And I did that for years. I have a very large smoker and it takes a long time to get it up and going. I just recently bought a electric smoker, and that facilitates me the ability to smoke small quantities. So basically all you're going to do is you're going to save all your skin, and I'll show you why later. When you're shredding your chicken, you really want to shred it. What you want is like strands to be in the stew. This chicken's a little past where I normally would take it. It's also, ultra tender. And I like a little chew on mine, a little bite. And then the other thing is, I'll throw all these into some water and I will make chicken stock with some carrots and some other vegetables in there. That would be really nice. The smoke flavor helps immensely. I do a lot of smoked turkeys and they taste good in here as well, although the chicken is the main deal. I would put that in regardless. It just helps things along. Plus it's not cheap anymore. I'm telling you, everything in this planet is just going through the roof in terms of cost. But you just keep peeling all this off and get it shredded out. I'll continue to work on this, then we'll come back and I'll show you what I do with the skin. Okay, you guys are back. What I have here is 1 pack of kibasi, and what I'm going to do is cut this about that length right there. Let me get that in there. Not too big, not too small. And what's going to happen is the skin's going to stay intact, and this is going to pooch out a little bit, and it's going to be kind of like a meatball in there. And 1 is plenty, and it adds a lot of flavor, and it becomes very yummy as well. It's good. This is pre-cooked, so, and it's delicious. You can just eat it on its own. You can pick what brand you want. If you like a little spice, you can put spicy sausage in it. It's entirely up to you. As far as the meats go, I've seen all kind of stuff in there. The chicken's generally the base. Alright, well, I left the bone right there. What I'm going to do with the skin is lay it all out. And it's somewhat, I'm not going to say crunchy, but it is got some texture to it. And I'm going to lay all this out flat. And this is something I learned from somebody, and it really helps. It takes a little doing. You're going to have a really sharp knife, and you just want to cut through all this and make strips out of it. And like I said, it's not the easiest thing on the planet to do. But you want to get it all cut up. Get it piled up again and kind of come back the other direction. Just hold it the best you can. It's really not going to matter how small you get it, but it does help to keep it chopped up. And what this is going to do is add an immense amount of flavor to your stew. And the fascinating part about it is you won't find this skin in the pot. It will completely dissolve away and be gone. So there'll be no issue with that whatsoever. So I've got 90% of my stuff ready to go. Next thing we'll be doing is assembling everything. I'll get the shot back over the pot. See y'all in a bit. Okay everyone, we're back. So we're ready to start assembling. I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at this. I'm going to try to go slow. I have told y'all I'm not real big on measuring. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take all the meat, the skin, and everything else and throw it in here with the onions. Kind of just get that all melding together. And you're going to say, well, that's an awful lot of meat, but this is a big pot, so it shouldn't be a big deal. What I usually wind up doing is overfilling the pot and having to use this other one beside me that I've got the potatoes in to get that going. Alright, surprise number one, here we go. V8 juice. It's a great base for a lot of things. It's got all kind of vegetables and stuff in it. This is going to be the majority of the liquid. Just pour that baby right in there. We prefer the low sodium. I put the whole bottle in generally. I'm going to hold a little back this time. I'm going to turn the heat down. Yeah, it's going to need more liquid, but we'll do that. I'm trying to get everything laid out for you guys so it goes a little quicker. Opening up a can of tomato sauce. It just gives it a little bit more depth and flavor. So I'm adding that in there as well. So that's your liquid for the most part. Some of the dry. This is my homemade rub. I'm going to take about a half a handful and just put in here. Just my everyday barbecue rub. Been making for years. Just kind of evens things out a little bit. Next thing I'm going to throw in is, if I was guessing, this is Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to put in quarter cup maybe, something along those lines. This stuff right here you'll have to find in the ethnic section. I can't pronounce it, so at any rate, we discovered this a long while back. This has a lot of spices and herbs in it. It's not hot. It is adding a lot of salt though, so be cautious. You don't want to have a whole lot of salt. I'd rather undersalt things and let people salt it. I'm going to put a pinch of kosher salt in. I'm not going to put any more than that in there. Black pepper. I usually grind my own. I'm out. So we're going to give that a pretty good shake of pepper. Next thing I'm going to add is just a regular white sugar and maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons. I usually buy garlic granulars. I accidentally bought the powder. I'm trying to use it. I hate it. Put a liberal amount of that in there. Good old yellow mustard. Just a dash. You just want enough in there to know that it's there. Well, this may be a new bottle. What you know? It sure is. So we'll open that up. And that just adds a little flavor to it. Get some mustard out of it. There we go. Didn't want a whole lot. Alright, freaky. Ketchup. Gotta have a lot of ketchup. Probably a cup, if not more. And this will be to taste. All my leftover barbecue sauces I get if I happen to buy barbecue. This is sweet. You can get hot. You can do mustard. You can do whatever you like. Just throw that in there. This is my favorite barbecue sauce, made by Johnny Trigg, and we're going to add some of that. Again, no measuring. Alright, secret weapon. Vinegar. Vinegar is a must. I'm not going to go crazy yet with it, But I generally have to come back and add vinegar, because it's something you've got to get just bounced out right between the sugar and all the other crud we've thrown in here. It's coming together. So we can go ahead and throw our corn in and get that going, because that doesn't have to be dealt with in another way. Pretty liberal portion of corn. I'll use one small bag, and if you got fresh, that's even better. As far as the meats go, I was going to mention this is great to make with leftover ribs, and take the rib meat off the bones and add it into the soup. It's absolutely fantastic. So we got everything in here except for the potatoes and the lima beans. They're going to be a while. Potatoes are almost done. Lima beans are not even close. So let's get a little taste. Pretty spot on. I just added the corn so it's cold out of the freezer. So I'm going to let this warm up, get up the temperature, finish cooking the lima beans, get the potatoes done, and once all these flavors meld out a little bit, I'll either add some more V8, maybe not, you know, tweak it. But that's a pretty damn good bowl of stew going right there, or I should say pot. I'll be back when I get things more wrapped up. Thanks. Okay, here you go. The stew is done. Everything's in it. I've got it on low. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon where I'm at. And this will be supper today and tomorrow. So, hope you try it out. Give us a like if you like the video. We'll have some other things coming out hopefully this weekend. And subscribe if you would, please. Trying to get things going with this. This is a new adventure for me. I just hope everybody learns something from it and enjoys it. Thank you for your time.